Hello everyone, I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Last episode, I basically just went and leveled everyone up and equipped them with any of the gear that I happened to find. We're doing pretty good right now. You know what, I'm going to swap that bow out, because I don't need that bow. Composite longbow +3, there we go. And I don't think I really have anyone that the Mantle of Night would go on. So, yeah. No point in using the Mantle of Night. So, with that done, it's time to talk to everyone and see what they have to say. Let's start with the hand. Here, far from the eyes of strangers, I can assume my true form, but in Elutionera I will remain hidden. It seems this sorrowful and unsettling place will be what we call home, at least for a time. What is our next step? We need to learn who holds the reins of power in Elutionera at present. Armed with this knowledge, we would be able to uncover Hepsamira's plans and thwart them. How well known am I among the denizens of Elutionera? No one in Elutionera knows your name. Yet. Tell me honestly, what do you think of the one you call the champion of Galarian? I would be lying if I told you that I don't observe you with some trepidation. Sometimes I wonder what will happen if you falter. For power and responsibility represent the most difficult trial of all, and many righteous souls have failed to pass it. I have a question about our mission. Then ask away. You must have a lot of questions. What can you tell me about the Abyss and demons in general? Demons. The hand of the Inheritor speaks slowly and heavily, as if trying to break through some inner resistance. They are the youngest race of the Outer Planes, and the wildest in origin. Once, entirely different creatures used to rule the Abyss. Those were Qlipoth, the embodiments of chaos. They were much less human-like. But then one entity conjured up the idea that primordial chaos could be mixed with an evil mortal soul, and that is how the first demon was created. No one remembers the name of the creator now, but the creations still live and prosper. They overthrew the Qlipoth and became the essence, the soul of the Abyss. And I honestly cannot say which was worse, before humanity was added to it, or now. What do you know about Elutionera? Chaos has many faces. When Chaos decided to manifest itself in the form of a city, Elutionera was born. There are places in the Abyss that are darker, bloodier, more dangerous and deceiving, but I cannot imagine a place whose significance would eclipse that of Elutionera. When Nocticula built the city, she employed everything of the essence that ever existed in the Abyss. Demons of all kinds from every corner of this gloomy plane live there, and what is more, the Lady in Shadow opened the city's gates to visitors from other planes, and strangers swarmed the city. Merchants and travelers, mercenaries and explorers, mages and bards, creatures from all planes, those daring enough to visit the Abyss, chose Elutionera as their destination. The city is divided by two sets of walls, between which lie the quarters open to outsiders. One set of walls protects Nocticula's guests from the rabble and the poor, who are desperate enough to violate their ruler's orders for a chance to get a coin or two. The other set of walls protects outsiders from the city's nobility, who can flout Nocticula's recommendations without any reason at all, merely on a whim. But do not think that there is a single place in Elutionera that is safe, for danger lurks around every corner there. Tell me more about Nocticula. The Lady in Shadow, the first of the succubi kin and likely the most dangerous demon to have ever been spawned by the Abyss. I cannot tell you much about her, for she cunningly hides in the shadows, eluding the dangers of her foes and the schemes of her rivals. All I know is that she gained power after she overthrew Viriavaxus, who was lord of the Shadow Demons. She took his powers, his realm, and his subjects, and that merely whetted her appetite. Many demon lords have perished since then, cut down by her treacherous and sudden strikes. With each fallen enemy, her power grew stronger and her glory greater. I cannot tell which of her weapons is more dangerous, her unerring strikes, her seductive charms, her unbridled courage, or her astounding stealth. You must beware of all these dangers. What is so dangerous about Hepsamira? She is the worst of all Baphomet's offspring. She gained this grim title in the bloody conflict with her own brothers and sisters, and she brutally wiped out everyone who stood in her way. She did not even show mercy for her own mother, and doomed her to a cruel execution. As a reward for her eagerness and loyalty, Baphomet granted her use of his most cherished tool, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. However, now an even greater threat has arisen under Hepzibah's rule. Unusually powerful demons, the source of whose strength is unknown and most dangerous to us. The Crusaders have encountered such demons only a scant few times, but should an entire army of such fiends appear, Dresden would fall, Nerosian would fall, and then all of Avestan would follow, and even Golarion would not stand a chance against them, putting an end to Hepzibah's machinations. That is our mission. I see you've blessed the rocks of this cavern. Indeed I have. If even on Golarion the Abyss's harmful influence can unsettle mortals and disturb their rest, what then can be said of the Abyss itself, the very heart of pain and sin? But worry not, champion. By the power granted to me by Iomedae, I have consecrated these dark caves. You can find respite here, and recover your strength should the need arise. Alright. I'd like to ask you a personal question. There shouldn't be any secrets between us, champion. The very instant that Queen Galfrey sent you to this dark place, I swore to myself that I would do everything within my power to ease your burden. Why did you follow me to the Abyss? Because my duty and my honor demanded that I do so. You were facing a great mission and a colossal challenge, while those who remained behind merely had the honor of protecting what you had already liberated from the demon hordes. My heart told me that my help would be needed here more. How does it feel for you to be in a place like this? This is not my first foray into the Abyss, though it is the first time I have come here to watch and talk rather than do battle. On more than one occasion, I and other warriors of heaven have descended to this evil and corrupted place to bring retribution to the vile and grant salvation to their victims. For better or worse, heaven and the Abyss cannot engage in open war, though I can recall some moments when we seemed to teeter on the precipice of just that. All we can permit ourselves are raids and skirmishes along the border. Is ultimate victory on over the demons even possible? It is, but it's not the kind of victory you dream of. The hand of the Inheritor remained silent for a while before speaking in a heavy, hollow voice. The Abyss lives while evil lives in the hearts of mortals. Demons don't just appear from nothing. Most of them originate from the souls of people who committed themselves to evil while still living. That's why the war with the Abyss, should it ever start, may be never-ending. The place of each fallen demon will be immediately taken by a new one. That's why our only true chance to secure ultimate victory will emerge only after we exterminate all evil in the world. We must achieve a situation where not a single soul would voluntarily resort to evil deeds, when mortals themselves, by their own free will, turn to the light all at once. But no one in the universe knows how to achieve that, and many who have tried ended up as tyrants and false prophets. May heaven guard me against such a fall. What are your thoughts on Galfrey's latest order? Iomedae has never striven to rule over mortals. She has only guided and helped them, so I should follow her example, and never try to interfere with your way of life or question it. What I will say is that I am certain of the necessity of our mission as I am the sharpness of my blade. What surprised me, and truth be told unsettled me too, is the cruelty with which my noble sister-in-arms Galfrey dispatched you here. The Queen has every right to give orders to her commander, but a right without righteousness is worth little. Is there anything you can help me with? I will follow you everywhere, remaining invisible so our enemies will have not the slightest suspicion of my presence. When you need advice, I will give it to you, and when you are stricken by disease, I will come to your aid and dispel it. No matter how long you may have to travel through the Abyss, you can always be sure that I am near, and heaven has not forsaken you. How do you hide yourself from the demons? This magic spell turns me into an invisible spirit, hidden from the eyes of everyone who was born in the Abyss and whose heart has been blackened by evil. Those who hail from other planes are capable of seeing me if they use magical sight of some kind, as well as those few whose woeful fate was to be born and raised here while carrying light and purity in their souls. But my protection from demons is very effective, and will work until I myself decide to appear in my true form to join the battle or help someone in need. Alright then, I have to go. You will face great challenges in this cursed place. Stay strong, and remember that the fate of Golarion depends on you. As you wish. Alright, Aivu.
When I grow up, I'll be able to transform into anyone I want. I've already started a list. It's got almost 400 names on it already.
Aivu, you've grown up a bit.
Yep.
The dragon looks incredibly proud of herself.
Dragons usually grow as they get older, but I grow as your power increases. So don't be fooled. Remember, I'm still a kid. A huge, scaled flying kid with planner magic at her disposal.
Right, I will keep that in mind when, you do something a little wrong. Anyway. Arushale, before I do... This once used to be... Okay, once it used to be a working portal. This place has been sanctified. Arushale? Nothing to speak about. Lan? Nothing to speak about. Ulbrig?
Never thought I'd find myself in the land of the Fae. Well, let's take a gander at how they live down here. We just need to follow the rules or we'll stay here forever.
This isn't the land of the Fae, it's the Abyss.
Oh, you say that like there's a difference. Sure, some Orglins have horns, others have wings, and still others have horns and wings, but they're all the same Orglins in the end.
Not quite, Ulbrig. There's a big difference. The Fae, it's very easy to fall prey to them if you don't follow the right rules. Demons have no rules. What rules do you speak of, though?
Oh, there are lots of them. Let's see. First and foremost, never agree to dance with them. You set one foot in their Fae-ish frolics and you won't be able to stop. You'll just keep prancing until you drop dead from exhaustion. What else? Don't accept any gifts and always give something in return, or else you'll have to serve them forever and ever. Don't eat or drink anything without permission, or they'll turn you into a beast or even a cockroach. Oh, there's just too many to list. I know them all from my grandma. She knew so many songs about the Fae, so many tales. Look, War Chief, instead of me telling you all this, how about you just follow my lead here, alright? You can't go wrong with that. And if you see anything suspicious, you just give him this.
Ulbrig thrusts a hand in your direction with the index and little fingers extended and swivels it back and forth.
It's the best way to ward off any ensorcelry. If you show it to a Fae, it can't give you the evil eye.
Right. If we encounter any Fae around here in the Abyss, I'll be sure to throw them the rocker demon horns. Okay, nothing else there. Let's continue on down. Unfortunately, we can't do anything with this. Not yet. Okay, Nenio.
It's time for the experiment. I hope these words inspire as much enthusiasm in you as they do in me.
Oh, what's this experiment about?
You see, I have decided, though dared would be a better term, to address an issue which up to now I have preferred to avoid due to my total ignorance in this sphere.
Nennia lowers her head in embarrassment.
I realize it's hard to believe that I, a person of, let's skip the false modesty, superior intellect, could not know something so simple. But it's never too late to fill in gaps in one's knowledge, right? I'm talking about friendship. To be honest, at first I planned to assign the writing of this article for the encyclopedia to a co-author of some kind. But then I met you, my loyal follower, and suddenly I thought I could write it myself.
Nenio seems to have reached the limit of her courage and she looks away. So, you've never had any friends?
I see no sense in them.
Hold on. So you're trying to say that you consider me your friend?
You misunderstand me. I don't need friends. I have no desire to spend my time on them when I could spend it on new experiments and discoveries.
Nenio explains this to you as though she is speaking to a 5-year-old.
I just want to learn what it is like to have friends. For the encyclopedia. Nothing more.
Sure.
I realize that you would like to consider me your friend. Who wouldn't? I'm a scientific luminary, after all, so I do apologize for disappointing you.
Well, if it needs to be done, we'll do it. Let's get started.
I'm glad you've agreed. Many would have considered my request too personal and refused. It's good that you're above such squeamish sentiment. Here, I made a list. I based it on my observations of individuals around me and on my personal knowledge of the topic, which I have to admit is far from comprehensive.
She hands you a crumpled piece of paper.
Study it well. We'll start as soon as you're ready.
I think it's funnier if we don't read it yet and go through it. Do we have to follow this list? Nenio looks at you with disapproval.
You're trying to say that I made it for nothing? I've developed a perfect methodology that involves all the mechanisms of friendship between two individuals. But by all means, sure, let's just abandon the list.
Okay, point number 1. Friends smile at each other. You raise your eyes to Nenio, who has already fixed a malevolent grin on her face. The kind that would make you soil yourself if you saw it in the dark of night. Respond with a brief smile. Keeping the unnatural grin on her face, Nenio hisses through her clenched teeth.
You call that a smile? Come on, try again.
Give her a wide smile. Your eyes bore in Nenio's and she stares right back as you both grin as widely as possible. A minute passes in tense silence.
I never imagined being a friend was such an exhausting business. So what's next on the list?
Okay, point number 2. Friends gossip about their other friends.
Oh, I've made some preparations for that.
She produces several pieces of paper from her sleeve.
Come on, let's get to it. Who are we going to gossip about?
What do you have to say about Ulbrig?
Excellent choice. So what do you think of him?
He's a good friend and a fine comrade in arms.
Oh, how interesting. Incidentally, yesterday I saw him...
Nenio picks up a random piece of paper and reads it.
Eating worms.
Do you have any idea who we're even talking about? Nenio becomes a little embarrassed, but only a little.
No, I don't make it a point of remembering those I travel with. That's why I prepared these universally applicable pieces of gossip.
She raises her fist with several pieces of paper clenched in it. That doesn't sound like him at all.
Really? Excuse me, I'll try again. Yesterday I saw him, drinking from a puddle.
Right. Thanks for the info.
Truth be told, this whole experiment seems like sheer stupidity to me. But how can we learn that stupidity is stupid without doing stupid things? We need to finish what we started.
Okay. There's a certain logic in that statement of how can we learn that stupidity is stupid without doing stupid things? There's a weird kind of logic in that. She gives you a satisfied nod and stows her papers back in her sleeve.
Alright, stage 2 is now complete. What's next on the list?
Point number 3, friends drink alcohol together. And then it says no longer required.
Oh, right, I should cross out this point. I wrote this and then I checked the encyclopedia and recalled that I've already conducted that experiment. And judging by the same encyclopedia, and especially by an odd stain on that particular page, it would be unwise, to say the least, to try and repeat it.
Yeah, I remember that. Point number 4, friends sometimes argue. A new heap of papers appears in Nenio's hands.
You are uninterested and disinterested in this experiment and can't even tell the difference between those two words.
You can kiss my ass.
Not too creative, but it will do. Now we can definitely be considered friends. And on that note, I conclude the 4th part of the experiment. What's last on the list?
Point number 5, friends sometimes copulate.
Oh yes, that. Take off your underwear.
I know so many other people would immediately drop trowel, and it leads to a very funny moment. I'll leave you to discover that. What?
Now we're going to engage in the act of copulation exclusively for the sake of carnal pleasure, bypassing the main purpose of all copulation, which is procreation. What part of that isn't clear?
Not all friends have to do that.
Is that true? Are you sure? What an unexpected and interesting piece of information. I must confess I wasn't so thrilled about this whole copulation idea from the start. It's so nice that science does not demand this sacrificing of me today. This thoroughly awkward experiment is finally concluded. I have learned what it means to be a friend, and now I can write an article about it for the encyclopedia.
Nenio rubs her nose with a pencil.
I am happy that it's over. I am once again convinced that friendship is the most foolish of all occupations.
You did it all wrong. Friendship is more than just smiling, gossiping, bickering, and sex.
Is it? We've concluded that all the assigned actions typical for two friends. Of course, I could have compiled an extended list, which would have included joint food ingestion and senseless banter with the aim of showing each other in the least attractive light. But how would that change the situation? Do you know what I will write in the encyclopedia? Friendship is a set of primitive rituals intended to help individuals forget about their loneliness. However, I have no interest in that. I see my loneliness as a sign of my uniqueness. The one who leads the way is always alone. Now I have time to answer your questions. Come on, ask away.
Oh, Nenio. Oh boy. Regil. Nothing to say. Wendy. Nothing to say. No one else over here. So let's head into the caves here. Greybor. Nothing to say. Woljif. Nothing to say.
I do what I
Sela.
I will learn the weight of my sword. I will have faith in the inheritor. I am the first into battle and the last to leave it.
With her eyes half closed, Sela whispers the words of the Oath of Iomede's paladins. Trailing off, she opens her eyes and sighs.
How did we end up here? I never would have imagined I'd find myself in the abyss.
How are you holding up?
I'm hanging in there. I don't feel good in this place. The air stinks like something died, and I'm having trouble sleeping. I keep waking up at night. I think I hear someone being tortured nearby, pleas and cries echoing toward me. So I wake up and listen, but there's nothing. I keep thinking about everything, praying every day that the souls Sunhammer abducted from the Crusaders weren't brought here. The Abyss will kill them, or infect with its madness, even without the demon's help. Seeing this ocean of evil and injustice before me, it's tearing me apart. So many innocents are held captive here, and torrents of ruinous darkness flow from this wretched place to the other planes. My mind is tested to the limit every day I spend in the Abyss. Iomade helped me hold on to it.
We've overcome everything we've faced so far. We'll get through this as well.
That's right. Thank you, Falai. I've always had faith in us, and I will keep having faith. But sometimes a girl needs a few words of encouragement.
How are you? Elon's wedding, things didn't exactly go as planned.
What does it matter how I am? I can't stop thinking about everyone who suffered. Clever Sela the Paladin, companion of the God's Chosen One, didn't even notice a demon conspiracy right under her nose. I'm going to officially change my name to Sela the Dimwit. That's how I'll introduce myself to everyone I meet so that they know they can't count on me. If we're too late to save the souls of all these victims, I will never forgive myself. You know what else I keep thinking about? What happened to Curl? Did he really want to steal the ring? Did he just get what was coming to him? Or was it the fault of the demon who possessed his body? So many questions and so much grief, as if a whole world wound and 2 demon lords out there were just waiting for us to hurt us wasn't enough. Alright. Ember. Nothing to add. Personal chest if we need to access it. Darren looks rather distracted. He is staring into space as though he's listening to something deep inside himself. Finally, he notices you and his lips quirk into a nervous smile. So many people have cursed me and told me I'll end up in the abyss when I die. I suppose I've rather deftly subverted their expectations by getting here while I'm still alive. You don't like it here, do you? Can't you see that I'm afraid? More afraid than I've ever been in my entire life? Darren asks in a grim voice. And believe me, I'm no stranger to paralyzing fear. We are in the most atrocious and macabre place imaginable. Moreover, we're practically surrounded by demons, curse them all. Vile, rotten creatures who can experience something approaching joy only when torturing mortals. You can't even imagine how glad I am to find myself in their domain. Well, treat this as another adventure. In my world, an adventure is getting totally smashed with a couple of apprentice mages who've just got the hang of basic teleportation spells and waking up several thousand miles away next to someone you've never clapped eyes on before. Someone who might turn out to be a Varisian saber swallower, or a dragon in human form. But this... well, fine. Find me at least one beautiful saber swallower around here, and I shall magnanimously agree to call it an adventure. Daeron smiles again, either recalling something good from his past or enjoying his own joke. Okay. Camellia? Nothing from you. Sociel. Sociel is drawing something. But when he notices you, he hurriedly folds over the paper. Struggling for inspiration? The priest shakes his head. My drawing, it's just not flowing the way it normally does. This place doesn't inspire creativity. Don't tell me you've managed to find some beauty in the abyss. No. Cringing a little, Sociel shows you a few sheets of crossed-out sketches, but you can still recognize the vistas of Elutionira in them. I tried, but I can't. Not here. May the goddess forgive me, but it's beyond my powers. Okay. Anyone else around here? The answer appears to be no. In that case, we shall rest. So, there's no point in the ones that keep us from... that let us last longer with, whatever it is. Where is it? The time before fatigue, because we're not traveling that way. We're running everywhere. So, let's see. Concentration checks, AC bonus, rest before fatigued. Bonus to ability score is not bad. Mind cleansing tea is pretty good. Speed bonus. Demon Slayer soup. We could easily do that. Attack rolls, damage rolls, skill checks, saving throws. It's actually really good. So go with that. And the one who has the highest skill is... still her, and I can boost. So, let's see if this works.
Greybor, name your price. I want you to take my place on sentry duty today.
I'm not doing that no matter how much you pay me. I appreciate your offer, Count. But I appreciate the chance to sleep before battle with you standing guard even more.
Fair enough. Ah, damn it, we failed. Okay, fine. So we're not getting a boost there. Before we go out, though, I do wonder... we are level 15, and we're quite strong. Maybe we can take out that foe that I spoke about in the Midnight Fane. I think we'll try that in the next episode before we go into Elutionira. But that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Cheswick44, also known as Falai. That is me. This has been a Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous, and I shall see you all next time.